bit later, Ellen, but that was 25 years ago. And it's a lot of science has kind of happened since then. And we have a lot of work to do in this field. So what I want to do is kind of start by teeing up a little bit about how my own thinking about the early childhood field has evolved over time. I'm thinking about three lenses that have been useful to me to think about policies and programs, actually beginning prenatally and in the early childhood years. The first was where I started at the beginning of my career, where for me, the importance of focusing on the needs of young children and their families, especially very young, was pretty straightforward moral responsibility. I mean, if we have knowledge that could improve life outcomes, current lives and life outcomes for children, do we need any more reason than just that responsibility? So that was me as a kind of an adolescent and young adult. I've never lost that as my core, but I kind of got a little bit more practical as time went on. And instead of scoffing at people saying, well, how many dollars are we going to get back for every dollar we invest? I realized that it was foolish to kind of pay no attention to that. And so recognized that the other reason for paying attention to the early childhood space is investment in the future of a healthy and productive society. And then over the last several years, and a lot of it related, I think, to the tremendous progress we've made in this field and the huge distance that we still have to go, began to become more and more obsessed with the untapped power of bringing together advances in science with the diversity of lived experiences of everybody from families raising young children to people providing services, to people running systems, to superintendents running schools, and to realize that we need to achieve greater impacts with what we do. And we're really missing an opportunity to think about how science and lived experience kind of come together. I think we all learned a lot from the pandemic as well about how science by itself is not enough if people don't trust it, if it doesn't fit with their beliefs. And so what I'm going to do in this presentation, and then look forward to some conversation, is how we're really at a wonderful position right now to really ramp up the magnitude of impacts of what we do by tapping into a lot of new science. Has been dramatic breakthroughs in the biological sciences in the last 10 to 20 years. I'm going to talk about that in a bit. So first is this question of why are early experiences so important for the developing brain? So much of the science was focused on brain development early on. And there's a basic principle that holds very well with all of the new research and knowledge that we've generated